Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in once again. My name's Joanna M. Cameron. I'm a mental health therapist and a life coach, and I'm bringing you mental health tips and life coaching tools that are going to help you navigate through your everyday life. Today I'm going to talk to you about grief. There are 5 stages of grief that people should allow themselves to go through. I'm going to go ahead and list those for you, but I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail on those because what I want to talk to you about is a little bit different in terms of grief. So the first one is shock, and the second is denial, then anger, and then depression, and then acceptance. And while there's also 2 more in between there, sometimes there's bargaining and sometimes there's testing. So it could be 5 to 7 different stages actually that we go through in the process of grieving. What I'm going to talk to you today about is things that people don't often tell you are involved in the grieving process and how we can manage those and understand those a little bit better and make it a little bit easier on ourselves or for someone else who's experiencing grief. I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell, and I'd also like for you to share the video if you or someone you know is going through some of the grieving processes and need a little bit of assistance or guidance on what to do next, or just how to understand that what you're going through is normal. So leave comments below if you have comments. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you're going through any of these phases, or if you're experiencing grief in your life, I'd love to hear what that process is like for you and how you've been able to manage it. So, as we know, there are the 5 to 7 stages of grief. Now, the one thing that you may not know is that death doesn't have to occur for you to experience grief in your life. While death is the primary reason that people tend to grieve, it's not the only reason. We can actually grieve the loss of something that we had in our life that we are missing. It could be a friendship. It could be a relationship. It could be something that was very sentimental to us. And it could also just be the loss of something within ourselves, where we've grown into a new phase of life and we're now missing the old life that we used to live and that we grew very accustomed to living day to day. We no longer have it, so now there's a sense of loss in that area. And then I want you to understand that it's okay not to be strong. Because oftentimes what happens when we're going through a grieving process, people will say, well, just be strong and you'll get through this. And that's really the last thing that we really need to hear at the time. People are so busy being strong when they're going through something that they really need to be grieving and going through the stages and steps of grieving, that they're forgetting to take care of themselves, and ultimately it leads them down a path of destruction, or potentially could anyway. So when someone is telling you to be strong, take it with a grain of salt and just understand that they just may not know exactly what to say. And you don't have to feel like you need to be strong for the sake of someone else. Allow yourself to go through the different phases. Allow yourself to feel the hurts that you feel, to feel the pain that you feel. If you're angry, be angry. If you're sad, be sad. If you want to cry, scream, shout. If you just want to be by yourself, it's okay. You don't have to put on a strong face for the sake of someone else, because in the midst of all of that, you're the one that's suffering. And then you're not going to be any good to be able to help them later on if they need you to be able to help them. And then you want to understand that there may be moments and times where you're feeling guilty, but it's a normal process in grieving, and it's understandable that you may feel guilty, or you may feel survivor's remorse if there was a death involved. Going through that process is okay, but staying there is not okay. And then when you go through the moments of depression or sadness, allow yourself to cry. Don't hold those emotions in because they don't feel good. It doesn't feel good to go through a moment of pain. It doesn't feel good to be sad, and we try to do things to surround ourselves with people or activities that take our mind off of it. But then in those moments of silence, when we're all alone, we have those moments where we're breaking down, or we're not allowing ourselves to have that depressed feeling or that depressed mood at all, and we're holding it in and just moving on with life as regular, and years down the line, it's coming out because we never dealt with it during that time when we were actually grieving the loss of that thing or that person or that identity that we are missing so much. Give yourself the permission to be sad and to feel that hurt, and to know that by allowing it to come out is going to allow more room for good feelings to come back in. So those are just some of the things that people don't often talk about in the grieving process. And there is no timeline that says you'll grieve for a week and you're going to be okay. You may get all the way to stage 4 and go right back to stage 1 all over again. And that's okay. Allow yourself to go through that. Get the help you need though. I want you to understand that there is help available. You can get anywhere from 5 to 7 sessions with a therapist, a licensed therapist that can help you process those feelings and manage those feelings that you're struggling with at any stage that you're at. Your EAP is per issue. And when you contact your EAP, ask them how many sessions that you have per issue. So as long as you're going back in for something that's different, although it may be because of what you were going through at the time when you were grieving, now it's affected your home life, that's a whole nother issue, which means you get 5 to 7 more sessions. So just keep that in mind. These are things that we don't always talk about, like I said, when it comes to grieving. So allow yourself to go through the process. Understand that grieving does not just mean someone's passed away or you've lost someone. It could be the loss of many, many things. And then there is no rush. Go through the process. Allow yourself to feel those feelings, those hurts, the anger. Allow yourself to go through the process and understand there is no rush to get to acceptance. But when you ultimately get to acceptance, then that feeling will bring you the peace that you need. And you'll know that you've accepted it. And you'll feel better once you get there. But just understand, it's not a marathon race. It's actually a pretty windy road trying to get to acceptance when we're grieving the loss of anything or anyone that meant something to us. But whatever way you get there, however long it takes you, it's okay. Just get the help you need. Talk to someone if you can. And if not, do some introspection and self-reflection and talk it through with yourself until you get to a place to where you're comfortable enough to open up and talk to someone. Don't hold it in. That can be a very dangerous place. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name's Joanna M. Cameron. Please subscribe, share, and like the video. And I will see you again, same place next week.